Bye, Sophie.
Bye. You might be interested to know that today I've got an interview for a job that I'd really like to get. I haven't been able to get my hair washed, haven't had a bath, and to feel more like somebody who's been living in a cardboard box for a week than somebody who's about to make a big impression on a new employer.
Morning, Sophie. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a rush today. There's 3 people off sick.
Oh dear. The agency carer turned up this morning, but she could only stay half an hour.
Oh, quick. I'm off then, Soph. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye. When I'm sick of this so-called care, I want a better arrangement. A setup that works for me. If other disabled people can do it, so can I. A direct payment's the way forward for me, which means getting money to pay people to do what I need doing. Of course, this means I'll become an employer. How do other people manage it? Luckily for me, I've got some friends who can take me through the process, and what's more, they've made a video about how it's done.
Hi Sophie, it's me, Resh.
Hi Resh.
We've got 8 things for you to think about. First of all, you'll need a job description for your personal assistants.
Hi Sophie, it's me, Nick. Next come the advert and the interview. You have to recruit your personal assistants, or PAs. Oh, and by the way, it's my PA David, who's doing all the filming.
Hi Sophie, it's Ruth here. And don't forget, once you get them on board, you have to think about induction and supervision.
Induction? Sounds painful.
No, not really. That just means telling them from scratch what you need. And supervision is just sitting down with them now and again and ironing out any problems that come up.
Oh, right.
Hi, Sophie.
It's us, Victoria.
And Mary.
You mustn't forget you've got to give them a contract.
And you have to pay them.
Hi, it's me, Ali, with the bad news. Occasionally, if it all goes pear-shaped, you have to know how to sack your PAs.
You need to make your job description as clear and as detailed as possible. The one that I've drawn up for my PAs, it's about 2 A4 pages long, and it includes a very short biography of myself, so newcomers know a bit about me. And then it lists the qualities I hope the person will have, and then it explains all different tasks they might be expected to do in the course of a typical week.
Well, everyone's job description needs to be different because, of course, we've all got our own individual needs, but 3 things that we always recommend people put in is the importance of confidentiality and that people need to be flexible and also reliable as personal assistants.
I asked them to have a friendly personality, to be punctual, they need to be fluent in English, and they need to be adaptable and flexible and learn quickly. If
I go drinking, I like my PAs to be in the background rather than actually with me all the time. So that's something they are aware of, and it's written down in the job description.
The job description is a legal requirement and you can't change it without consulting your PA first. So it's important to get it right first time.
I think it's good to be clear about the basic terms and conditions of the job, but also to try and say a bit about yourself in the advert, although of course if it's a newspaper advert then words cost money, so you need to be brief and eye-catching. But also it's about making sure that the advert portrays the fact that the disabled person is in control, and it's not just an ordinary care job in like a residential care home or a day centre, but it's actually about supporting someone to live independently.
The sort of hours I had were between 6 p.m. on a Saturday evening to 4 p.m. on a Sunday evening. So that gave someone quite a little amount just to spending money. So I designed it to say, do you need a job at weekends?
There was one occasion when I placed an advert in my local newspaper and they hadn't made me aware of what I was getting for my money, and it actually appeared a lot smaller than I was expecting it to be. And as a result, I think I probably did get fewer applications than I should have done.
Most people find local newspapers are the main place where you will get most responses to an advert, but equally people use shop windows, job centres, perhaps national publications, and even in one case we have someone who puts the advert on the back of his wheelchair and he gets quite a few responses to that.
When people respond to the initial advert, I talk to them on the phone and I have a list of questions. Hello, it's Ruth here. You phoned me about the ad in the Hammond High. And it's pretty basic stuff like checking out where they live and whether they could get here on time, checking out that they understand what the job involves. So how would that fit in with your commitments? Yeah? Checking out they got a national insurance number, so really all the basics. And if they meet those, then I'd invite them for an interview.
I tend to find it's best to screen people over the telephone before you actually invite them around for a formal interview. And it is important to stress that it is a formal interview and not just a chat with a cup of tea.
Interviewing personal assistants, it's very difficult to give too many standard pieces of advice, because really each individual is looking for someone they can get on with, and so really perhaps in the interview you're just looking to strike up some kind of rapport with the interviewee. You need to make sure that they seem relaxed in the company of a disabled person, that they speak directly to you, that they're making eye contact and they're not bothered by the fact that you might have an obvious impairment. But equally, I think, be wary sometimes of people who seem overly keen.
As it happens, I am interviewing for someone today, and it's always a good idea to have someone with you whose opinion you can trust. Today, Victoria is going to give me the benefit of her advice. Well, I've got 5 people coming today. I've allocated them half an hour each, but I've sort of spaced it at 45-minute intervals, you know, just in case we run over with 1 or 2, or, you know, somebody's late, which always happens.
Have you got your questions ready?
Well, I have, yes.
Hello, it's Katie for the interview.
Come in, please. Why do you think this is the job for you?
I am a very caring person.
I've had people that I've interviewed that have just kept on saying, oh, I'm a really caring person in response to every question I've asked, which has made me a bit suspicious.
I'd love to go with you for little walks.
If somebody said to me that they would like to take me out for little walks, I'd probably laugh to myself initially, but I don't think they'd get the job somehow anyway if they actually wanted to take me out for little walks on a regular basis.
Odd suggestions at interview by prospective PAs like, I'd love to cook you my favourite dish or take you for walks in the park, I think are to be treated with some circumspection, because basically you're looking for someone who can take instruction and be able to facilitate what you need, rather than have too strong an idea about what they can do for you.
What experience have you got?
Well, I've helped out at the old people's home, the Christmas bazaar, that sort of thing. By the way, what are the shifts?
If someone has been working in a residential home, that makes me quite worried, and at the interview I had to spend quite a lot of time talking to the differences, or what I perceive to be the differences between how I operate with my assistants and with how I think they might work in a care home situation.